you learn to work on a girl's feet, they're
Okay.
going to love you, man. I mean, they're just going to love you. It doesn't matter who you are, they're going to. And you start crying. You cry for the whole, like, almost hour.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He was like busted noses and hands, like he was a fighter. You really got to do it or don't do it, because if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. You know, you got to do it. That thing, you got to do it every day.
Hey, Ken here. Welcome to the Manceptional podcast. Today we're going to get into what many of us would consider an interesting subject, which is massage. Specifically, we're going to learn about the professional massage area, but of course there could be a lot of misconceptions. A lot of us think it's necessarily about sex or what have you. So let's get some clarification on that and learn about this business and how you can get in there. So today we're going to have Niall Carney. He is a professional mobile massage therapist working out of LA, Hollywood clients and the like, hailing from Ireland. So that is the general background. Now, I don't know if you have anything specific. Welcome to the podcast. That was a very general background, but so you started in Ireland.
I did. Well, I started in Ireland, but more, there was a friend, there was a girl I knew who was a trained massage therapist, and she showed me a few things. I looked into studying in Ireland, but it didn't work out. The course didn't start when it was meant to start, and then things happen. I worked construction at the time, and that's really what brought me towards it. Yeah, I specialize in flooring installations and refinishing. So my lower back was a mess.
Oh, okay.
It kind of led me into this, but so after that happened in Ireland, after that fell through in Ireland, I over time, when I moved to Los Angeles, it popped up again.
You mean your back? Mean your back problems, or you mean the massage?
Massage therapy that popped up again. It was something I put on the back burner. Many things happened. Like I had an accident with my hands. I almost lost the top of my two middle digits.
Jeez. So
that for a lot of for 2 years or so, that was something I had to recover from. It hindered a lot of parts of life.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd moved to Los Angeles and I was still at it. I was, construction work, and I was working for rigging companies and art department, doing, wherever, anything that I could do, really.
Right. At this point, did you know anything about massage? So you didn't take that one class before?
Never took a class at this point.
So you didn't
know
really anything?
Class.
Okay.
No. The only thing that I knew was I knew nothing, but that's what I found out when I started school,
But your back was friggin' hurting. Yeah.
So
what did you think massage was all about before you got into it? Because, I've got probably what are misconceptions.
Certainly.
But what did you think before you got in? Was it a little more than you thought it was in reality before, or was it what?
Like when I got in, did I realize it's more to it?
Yeah, there's more to it.
Instantly. But I mean, when I was getting into it, I was looking at it holistically for sure. I've always, generally speaking, I work with my hands. I've always done.
Right.
Very much that way. And it's how I learn things too, hands-on through experience. You know what I mean? That's something I learned when I was in massage school here as well, was that, there's three general ways that people learn things in life. And some are by seeing, others by doing, others by hearing, And so as it turns out, yes, I always thought that for me is by the experience, hands-on. And, this little test that you can do for yourself, it's I can't remember off the top of my head now what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, so it's the same, but, I definitely looked into it in the healing aspect, the holistic healing end of things. It's always been something that's piqued my interest. I'm not much of a go to the hospital and listen to what the doctor has to tell me or prescribe me or anything like that. It's never been something that I do.
Right.
And I'm really into the alternative forms of healing, medicine and whatnot too, different ways, coming at things in a different way. And it's very much that way. Massage very much that way.
You mean like homeopathic medicines and all that kind of thing?
Oils and essential oils, but also the hands-on thing. Because, here's something that I learned almost like the first day we were sitting there like a lecture, or maybe it was like the first actual, because there's a lot of lectures going, there's a lot of things you come in.
Mm-hmm.
And so the instructor, I was very fortunate, just to segue quickly, all the instructors that I had there, of the 4, there was 1 left in that school. 2 of them are dead and 1 of them was let go.
Totally
just like that. And these guys were top of their game, all of them. These were like wonderful. The place that I went to apparently is like nosedived, but and I would think it's a lot to do with that. But so anyway, so the instructor, the first lecture that I had there was talking about how hands-on healing has been a thing of the past, really. If you look around the general medical field, the first thing a doctor does, rubber gloves, right?
Right.
Come into a hospital, someone's lying on the bed and they're very unwell or whatever, and they have you scrubbed, they have you put on stuff,
Right.
So there's no touching.
Right.
And, a lot of the problems and they say, a lot of people who are problematic later on in life, criminals and whatnot, let's say, there's a lack of bond of touch with their parents, no one's holding them when they're younger, so this develops into issues later on in life.
Wow. So
those things I never thought of,
Yeah.
So and
I mean, I don't think of that at all when I think of massage. You just think of massage.
Massage, but you don't think of the benefits you can give. There was one thing that there was if we move on further, when I started working in corporate spas. Mm-hmm. That are dotted all around this country.
So that's what you did. So after you got certified or what have you, then you went straight to the corporate.
Well, no. When I was in the school, very quickly I searched out places that were close to me that I could work in under the owner's license, which is legal, which is allowed. Their insurance would cover me as long as they're on the premises, right?
Okay.
So that I did, there was a place here, fortunate enough that I got hired at, you went in, you do I didn't go it's not like the first day I went to school, I went going off and doing this, I did the first part of the course, which was basically Swedish massage. It was all Swedish massage and you have a test. So once I passed that, like top of the class, I went down and did it because I really got stuck in. It's not something that I was just doing, I just really was into it at the beginning. And then when I started, I was even more into it, I really got into the whole, it's like Tai Chi, when you're working on a human body, like you can ruin yourself by working on people. Because
what do you mean if you touch the wrong, like what do they call them, meridians or the nerve?
No, if you're like physically speaking, if you just lean over and pick up things off the ground, right? That's your backup. That's how people do it. 9 times out of 10, it's a little simple movement.
Right.
They did it without. They're not stretched, they're not loose, or whatever it is.
So you could do that with some massage. If you do it wrong, you could actually hurt somebody, is what you're saying.
No, you could hurt yourself as well.
Oh, hurt yourself. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. You could easily hurt someone,
Right, okay.
But you can, you could really injure yourself by not standing correctly, not moving correctly, not leaning over, not using your legs,
I was thinking that when the last massage I had was I don't know if it was a Thai massage or what have you, where the lady was standing on my back. That was the first thing I thought is like, is this my back on a break?
Well, they like it's there's a place I go, a Thai girl in there will do that. Her feet are perfect. They fit perfectly around my back. Okay. And a right amount of, but also you have to remember, usually I'm sure the Thai lady you had, they have a pole over them.
They were holding something so that it's not the weight.
So it's not the full weight. Yeah. And they keep their balance. They slide into your spine or something, but
okay.
It's only, that's not something I would be doing anyway. An Andre the Giant, possibly, but anyone else, you break them in half. But so where was I? Yeah, so I just I took a shine to it, I guess. And then when I was working in corporate places later on, like the boutique is different. It's a different environment. It's much preferable to me, but a lot of them don't have a huge amount of turnover. So the corporate entities, they do, but in that end, you're not going to get paid as well. Generally, they're trying to chop prices down. So with that, you have clientele that a lot of the times, not all of them, but a lot of them will be paying or tipping small. They're paying small, they tip small, which is sort of, you would hope, you're sold the idea by the house, for lack of a better definition, that, we don't charge as much, so your tips are better. Not true. When you give people a smaller bill, they don't tip you more.
So let me ask you this: when you started getting into this, were you thinking about how you're going to make a living, like how much you're going to get paid?
That was like, I mean, I really had a drive and a belief in that I was going to do, and I never saw it as like, I'm going to work in a spa and that's where I'm going to make my dollars. You can't make money working for someone else, really, in the long run. You know what I mean? Unless you're like a CEO or one of these whatever. Even they must have a boss, right? You work in a bank.
Does that mean if you go to one of these places, the people there are either new and haven't figured it out yet, or they're just maybe not that good? It's kind of like going to Supercuts instead of going to you're getting a $6 haircut versus.
No. Well, I don't know. It's a strange environment because it's a corporate environment, so they have these like things. There's a mixed bag. There's a lot of people who are there for a long time. They go in there, they watch the clock. They have it down to a T. They'll just do their routine. They're finished. And people enjoy it no matter what, for the most, unless it's absolutely horrible. Most people don't know what a good massage is because they've never really had one. Right. But everyone likes to be touched. It's sensual as opposed to sexual, and people need it. Like you can really, like there's plenty of things that I use that, it's like this thing called a Theracane, which targets.
Theracane.
It's a cane. Like only you can see this, Ken.
What the hell's a Theracane? Sounds like something they sell on TV for like $19.99. You get two of them and it helps you.
Yeah, but it's brilliant. And it's not, I think it's $15.99. But it's got,
okay, for the viewers, it looks like a big
cane
hook that an elf would have.
With handles, right?
Handles sticking out of it. What the hell's...
See the ball end of this?
Yes.
Okay, so you can get this in to this deep muscles in your top right here.
Is that to massage yourself?
Yeah, because when you're like working on people. So here's like the thing with the corporate. Anyway, when I finished, I moved on to the corporate. And all the way through my schooling, because I was working at the same time. I was doing houses and I was doing all sorts, painting, renovating, all of this.
Okay.
But it's that's like anyway. So cut to the end. I've graduated and I have my license, my insurance, all of that stuff. Yeah. I just put out resumes everywhere that I thought. Everywhere close, I was like, I wanted to stay local, and fortunately enough, where I am, there was a lot of these corporate things, and I tossed it. I was like, do I really want to do this? And I was like, I'll give myself 6 months. I'll go in there because I know there's going to be a massive turnover, right?
Okay.
And I'll get clients all the time, and I'll get massive hands-on experience very quickly. And so I did, and I got in there, and my 6 months, I only made 5 of those months because it's not the environment for me. Like I said, there's people running those things. They're not massage therapists, and that's how they do it. That's the corporate structure.
Right? Kind of so turn and burn, just get the bodies in and out.
Totally. And when I was there, the amount of notes I saw. So, like I said, 5 months, I saw at least 2 to 3 notes of a massage therapist putting up, going, "Hey, love you all. This is in break room. Love you all, but I've developed carpal tunnel syndrome or whatever." They're done. They can't do that job ever again without bothering themselves ever more for the rest of their life. There's no payoff for that. You're just done. You got to do something else.
So actually, let me ask you that. So it seems like this would be a super physical job, right? I mean, if you're some of these, I don't know the details and all the massage techniques, but a lot of them, if you're doing deep tissue, I've had one of those before.
Yeah,
that's got to be a lot, like a workout.
Big time. And what's interesting with deep tissue, right? I never experienced deep tissue when I was in school.
Okay.
The first time. So everything you do in modalities, you'll do Swedish, you'll do deep tissue, you do shiatsu. This is what I did anyway. Shiatsu, we did
Is that the one where they put the little dog on your back, the shiatsu? No, I'm just kidding.
So there was a shiatsu.
Oh, that's shih tzu. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
You can really. So, what kind of places are you going to?
Yeah. Shit, I gotta. I need to straighten my game out here.
Right. But so oscillation, we did a bit of prenatal. We touched on it. I know I actually did prenatal, but it wasn't like a full-on course because it's kind of the same. But you just have to be wary of certain areas. But when a woman's pregnant, that's just what it is. And their positioning on the table is different. Clearly, they're not going to lie on their front. Just for one. Anyway, so and but I did hot stone, jade stone.
Oh, okay.
That and I isolation.
What about that cupping?
Reflexology, huh?
That cupping thing where they put those.
No, I didn't do that. That's something else. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, so the deep tissue. When I did deep tissue first, when someone did deep tissue on me, like real deep tissue, where you're targeting certain muscles, and there's a lot of pressure that you're adding. You build up into it, but deep tissue will release a lot of things in people, and emotionally, and I learned that later on too. But it made me angry at first. Like it's like. No, but then it's the only way I can get worked on. The only thing that does anything for me is to someone like really get in there.
Wait, you got angry when they were doing it? You were angry because it hurt, or you got angry because emotions came out?
Well, I guess it's emotions, right? Because it was painful to me. But then when you're doing something like this, anything holistic is going to teach you about the relation between mind and body, right?
Okay.
We all have our own whatever interests in these things or anything like that. But there is definitely a relation between the mind and the body. That can't be denied, Yeah. What do we see it first, or does our brain see it first, Because that's a message being received, right?
Right.
So we don't know what it is until the brain knows what it is. So who's seeing what first, And same with touch. So, kind of with everything. Pain too, people will like be injured and they don't know it until they look, and then it's massively sore.
Right.
But anyway, so it's deep tissue. I think I've lost my train of thought. So deep tissue.
We're talking about how hard it is to do this.
Yeah,
it's like a workout, or how physical.
So it sort of became my. That's how I'll do everything's kind of a mixed, but it's really mainly shiatsu, deep tissue, with a few Swedish things to kind of warm people up and also to ease afterwards. Because. I'll get stuck in. You'll find things in people's body, and it's like a draw. It's like you want to get rid of that knot or that bind. You can feel that it's there, and you're pushing against, and you're kind of spreading it out, and that takes, like you said, a lot of physical work. So in a place like these corporate spas, you have to see 7-hour shift, right? It's a mandatory hour for lunch. You have to take it by law, something, whatever. So I want to see as many possible. So 6 people.
Jeez.
6 hours physical work. 6 hours in the gym or whatever. I lost weight. You're just like, and then, by the time it's time to eat, you're not even hungry anymore anyway. So
is there any emotional factor here? Like, if you're talking holistic, then, how do I put it? Like absorbing somebody's negative vibes, like some evil person or some negative energy sucker comes in and you're working on them. Does your energy get sucked out?
I'll give you. Remember, I was saying. So when I was in the boutique place while I was still in school,
right?
So I'm working there, and I came down to see a client who. Now this place had there's pedicures, manicures, waxing, and that was kind of what it had, and massage was in this place. So. Women will come in and they have like a pedicure, manicure, massage, whatever. I don't know, something, whatever's done. They get a whole thing, or they just come in for one or the other.
Okay.
But, so I come down, and this lady had, she's sitting there she'd had a bath or whatever they have in there. It's like one of these water therapy yokes as well.
Okay.
So doing that, and now she's sitting there with getting her toenails done, and. She's like a glass of wine in hand, in good spirits. Not drunk, just in good spirits. And she's lovely, and so we go in, it's a 90-minute thing, and the room was set up really nicely, and she was cool. She's an absolute sweetheart, really thankful and all of this. It's a 90-minute thing.
Jeez.
And no, I mean, it really just like you kind of, where you're at, and the time does go. You don't so much notice it, particularly when it's only one of them. If you go back to back, start of your day, then it's a little bit, it can be daunting. But anyway, but I have to say, I really enjoyed what I was doing. I really enjoy what I'm doing. Most I do. But so anyway.
The negative energy,
Well, no, she's in great form. It wasn't negative energy. This was very interesting about it. So I'm working on her, and I get her whole life story. She lives on the East Coast. Her husband is in the industry, and he spends like 8-9 months or something over here. And but their first child was 4, not 1, 4. She popped out 4 kids in the first go, right?
What?
Yeah.
Quadruplets.
Right? Yeah. And now they're like, and now they were 4 or they were 5 or something. Yeah. But so I'm like, well, and you'd never, I mean, I don't know where they put them, 4 of them too.
Yeah.
But so you never know. But anyway, I'm hearing all of this, and it's not a massive sob story. She's just unloading like she's never done before. She spends most of the time there. There's a nanny or whatever helping her out sometimes, but it's 4 of them. And she's like the only parent, though,
Right.
So I get it. I have a young one, and I know yourself, you have children too. And it's like, I understand that, like, there's a lot you can have. Nannies go home. Babysitters go home. Aunts, uncles, everyone, teachers, they all go home,
Yeah.
But it's 24 hours, it's always there. There's this thing, this element. She's got 4 of them first go, So anyway, I'm hearing all of this. Anyway, it's all done, all lovely, all this. Really nice meeting her. She's like so thankful, tipped me very well.
Yeah.
I go home, get home, go to sleep. I wake up the next morning, and I've never felt so heavy and dark. I got my daughter to school.
Took
my daughter to school, came home under the covers, and was just like, I was sad. I was just finished. I was just like, I had nothing. There was no spark. There was no joy. It was really this weird hollow feeling. And I was like, I looked into it. I figured, I found out it's like all to do with taking people's energy on. You got to get rid of it, regardless of from that day on. Anytime I work on a client does not matter. I wash every part of me from my elbow, down to tips of my fingers, and intentionally get rid of everything about them into the sink.
But how do you? So you're physically washing, but you're mentally
energetic.
Mentally, whatever was from that person that you absorbed or touched, you mentally throw it away in the sink.
Yeah, well, and say you're thankful, but it's yours or whatever. It's off.
Thank you, but I'm wiping your dirt off.
You know what I mean? Okay, but it's really beyond the dirt. It's nothing.
And then what happened? Did it work? Like the first time?
I've never since. I don't take anything on from other people. They can tell me whatever they want. It's all gone. As soon as I'm done, I'm gone. I'm at the door, and I'll go to the. If I can't really get a good cleanse going on, I'm in the shower when I get home. First thing. And I do it then, and I'm doing it then. It's gone. It's out of me, But I always I have that it's funny because at the same time I was doing a floor in a place in Santa Monica, and the guy owned this. It's gone now. The building is still there, but he's not in there anymore. Great man. But so that's what he does. He teaches qigong. He's like martial artist, millions done and so many different things, sword fighting, the whole lot. Guy's cool as whatever. So I'm doing this job, and I'm telling him this story, telling the whole thing, doing it for him. I was doing his floor and his painting and all that. And he goes, it's really interesting. And he told me this is everything he's saying. This is what and he explained to me, what he's learned from mentors and stuff, guys over in Asia and all that, like old super wise men, really down with the energy thing. No, they're totally with it. And and ways of proving. I'm not going to go into their ways of proving now. Totally off the subject, but that this is just, it's something that depends, in our culture, in Western culture, it's been tried to be removed. It's not gone, but for the most part, people don't have experience with it, so they don't.
Yeah, they try to make everything scientific, well,
they try to make
take a pill and
absolutely, take a pill and you'll be fine, But, so anyway, so that was that was the first energy. That's the first. People will buzz killers, when you're working in a corporate environment, you don't know who's coming in,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's people like I've had, and they're just like, you got to work on them. But, that's it. It's like done. It's clean wash. And luckily in that corporate place, there was a sink in the room. I had my room for the day and I'd just be like done. But always, here's the thing. I was always like a goal of mine to make them leave there not like that. And I never failed in that. I never had someone walk out of there who was. And I had some people who had a dislike because of whatever, whatever thing they have going on with them. And that'll never change who they, with them. And they just make a judgment based on their thing. And, they blanket, they generalize. So, but I could see begrudgingly in them, and that would be my goal with people like that. Begrudgingly, they couldn't not, but.
Yeah. So that's really interesting because, when most people think of massage, you think of all those, you're maybe thinking of like the sex massage places and
for dudes. You're thinking rub and tug shit for guys,
Yeah, and so you don't really think about the holistic side of things, but obviously it's real because you that's what you do. So
it's huge, though. I mean, This is like huge. This is worldwide. It's massive.
Mm-hmm.
And there's huge benefits to massage. It's like
so what. You said at the beginning it's more massage is more is sensual, but it's not sexual. But I was just doing
it can be though, I mean, okay. That's a different topic.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure I talk about. I read some horror stories. I was just kind of looking out of some professional massage therapists talking about horror stories, mostly women massaging men, and and going into a hotel room and they're trying to drop.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, so that sounds like a horrible situation to be in. But I definitely want to get into the, maybe some tips for some of the men listening to the podcast. On using massage techniques or maybe understanding the whole thing a little bit better that they could use. Yeah, I don't in that aspect.
I think as far as technique goes, that's something that you would have to. I couldn't describe a technique. There's too much. The body is too intricate. You can't. I couldn't say, well, you put your hand here and.
Okay, but I mean, there aren't even like. You hear the pressure points or the nerve points or some sort of.
Yeah, but it's like
concept of energy, or there's nothing like that. And
it's like anything, it's not just. It's if you're driving, you're going to drive a car. Mm-hmm. You're not just like hands behind the wheel and it's moving. You have to get into the car. You start the engine. Think of a woman's body as a car. You got to have the keys first, right?
Okay. Well, what are the keys? Like dinner and a date.
Well, are we talking massage here, or are we talking,
No, I'm talking massage. I mean, the whole.
When you're on a date, or
obviously, it's more than just grabbing someone's arm. Yeah, it could be. You're.
I'm not in that world. If I go see a client, there's a monetary transaction. I'm there for a certain amount of time, and I'm gone. That's right. That's me. I'm not going there to sit down on the couch, open a bottle of wine, and.
Oh, sure, yeah. No, I don't mean what you're doing as a professional masseuse. I'm separating. That with
if I was to give tips to
what could some men learn from what you know in the professional realm? Obviously, you don't get into those areas, but with this holistic image, you got to get the key, open the door. Are there some things like that?
Well, no, but I mean, bypass all of that part because I'm there. It's like I go there. The table's up, the client's on the table, and I'm working on the table, and there is, so if you put it, so the corporate business of massage, they tell, one of the first things that I heard from the manager there was that they have lots of complaints about sexual inappropriateness. Like that was like instantly, they put this fear into you,
Okay.
And be that as it may, I don't even know if that's true. I think they exaggerate these things anyway at this point, but because it's their insurance that gets affected. I don't know. But so anyways, like an instructor of mine said, who was an instructor for 20 years or 15 years or whatever, the only time of sexual inappropriateness in the school he encountered was 2 women to guys. There was no guys to girls. But, but that was in the school environment. Where people can be choosy of who's working with them.
Okay. Interesting.
So, sorry. just getting a message there. But, you know, that's not to say, I mean, I'm sure it goes on and whatever, but if you're getting into it for that aspect as a guy, you're never going to last long. If you're there to molest women, you're finished, you know? I mean, that's just a stupid thing to be like. Women smell that a mile away. When I was in school, there was other guys in the class. Within a month, none of the girls would let those guys work on them
because they were not thinking about it the right way.
They all came there looking for. I don't know. It's kind of pathetic, right? You go to massage school to score with chicks. I mean, you can't talk to them outside. You have to get them when they're prone, like where they can't run away. You know,
right?
They're on the table, so really quick. And then all three of those guys dropped out. You know, all three of them dropped out, and so. But anyway, you know, I'm going off on a segue there of that. But if you get back to as tips and all that, you know, working the body, you're moving blood around and you're moving lymph, L-Y-M-P-H,
lymph
lymphatic system, yeah. So that's like we got their blood going, and then there's a lymphatic system, right, that goes through that kind of flushes things out.
Okay,
but you're working that when you're working massage. The points, you know, remember you brought up meridians and all that. That's there.
Okay.
You know, the lymphatic system is running through them, with them. I'd have to go back. A lot of that knowledge, I took it when I needed it. You know, I did great in my tests and all that stuff. But I'm kind of, when I'm done with when I don't need it, it's gone. You know.
Yeah. Got it.
But you know, regardless, that you'll find there's areas in the body that you're attracted to work on, and you go with that. But you know, so when you're moving on anyone, if you're coming up their body, if you're coming up from the legs up, right?
Okay.
You're moving blood up the body, and you're moving lymph up the body. That's going to circulate in all the organs and muscles that go up.
Okay.
From there.
So wait, are we
kind of up to the gut? It's like the blood, like from the system.
So you mean you're massaging the feet, and then you're going up the legs, and that?
Well, you know, the
pushing
feet
blood up.
Well, yeah, certainly, because, you know, the feet have all these pressure.
I mean, I know I'm asking dumb questions. I'm trying to catch on to what you...
Yeah, no, if you didn't kind of learn it, you're not going to know.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay.
So, like, reflexology focuses...
Because, see, right now, there's guys going to be taking some notes. Okay, start with the foot. Push lymph fluid up to the organs. And
yeah, but see, now they're going to come after me. Someone's going to come after me going, you said... some disaster happened.
Let's state right now, this is not... you're not being certified by listening to this podcast. This is just
but I will
information.
I will be doing videos.
Okay. So you will have at some point maybe some course or something that can teach, because not everyone's going to go and take a full certification.
And it's not. You know, you don't need to do a full course to get. A lot of people, I would think, most people would not be looking at this, or shouldn't be looking at massage as something to get into to make money, because you're not going to. You know, I mean, unless you really, really have the desire, or, not desire, but the will, and you got to do it for yourself, because you can't make money working in a spa anymore. You just can't. It's just not there. Not with cost of living we have and all that. Maybe in Wyoming or somewhere where, your rent isn't like extortionate, and just cost of living it's very expensive. And,
LA,
everywhere you look as massage thing, it's like almost every industry is overflowing here, and that just brings the price down. So you really can't, regardless of quality. It kind of ruins the quality too. But so anyways, it's great knowledge to have.
Well, so let's talk about that some more. But let's go back to the pushing the blood up from the feet.
Oh yeah,
mentioning something about the feet. Yeah, good stuff.
Okay, so reflexology.
Reflexology.
The reflexology is pressure points in the hands, mainly, in the hand. It focuses on the hands and the feet. There's others, but it really looks at the hands and feet, and the corresponding organs and muscles and areas of the body that those work. It's all mapped out.
Yeah.
So and you start there. Like a foot massage is badass. If you get a real foot massage, it's amazing.
So I know there's they have an area where they push that's for your liver or something, right? I've seen those maps before.
And there's sex organs ones and all.
So
that.
do they have ones on your foot for the sex organs?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, seriously. And it's not like a thing. It's like, okay, if we put it to a guy, you press it, doing.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's not like that.
Not like that. It's about healing those areas, Or sometimes people have. It's about blockages, It's more to it than this Western. That means that, It's for sure.
Okay.
So it's like it's advisable not to work. Let's say like what would be related to the vaginal area, clearly on a woman. When they're pregnant, that's on the feet. They say that.
So don't do that because you could maybe induce
labor.
Labors. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's pretty serious. If they're telling you that, that means it's real. It's pretty serious.
Yes, but that's because insurance companies are all over this stuff now, right?
No, okay.
If this is Eastern philosophy, reflexology. All of this is coming from a different way of thinking, a different life. Massage is a different entity over there for sure. It's can be part and can be. It is like we have that here going on too, but the insurance thing is America and suing and all of that. Litigation is a massive breadwinner. Yeah, it's insane. Or a destroyer as well as a breadwinner, right? So I think a lot of it is fear out of that because sometimes I'm not going to whatever. I've had clients like I was very good at prenatal. I had a long list of clients when I worked in the corporate thing that would come back to see me during the pregnancy.
For prenatal.
That was lovely. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I kind of got, maybe it's because I have a child, just very caring,
Right.
But I wasn't afraid to get stuck in on them as well. Some people treat them like with feathers.
When you say get stuck in, you mean you're like in the zone? Is that what you mean? Like you're really...
Yeah, but also it's like if they're, you could find something in their back, an area that really needs to be worked, and I'd like lay into them. I wouldn't.
Okay, got it.
I wouldn't go gentle. I'd work on them. My elbows would get into them as well. In certain ways, with pregnant it's different. But I'd also work around the feet too and the ankles, and that's the area to not really get into. That's where there's a spot. Those spots are. But if you learn to work on a girl's feet, they're gonna love you, man. I mean, they're just gonna love you. It doesn't matter who you are, they're gonna love you.
Okay, so let's focus on this area for a second. We can go look up a map. You can look up
it's online. You can just reflexology map.
But they show you a little map and
techniques. Then you got to learn the technique.
Yeah, but the techniques. Obviously, on a podcast, it's probably something you have to show and try.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't describe.
Is there any like you don't just push it? Like what do you do?
I would. The only thing I could kind of describe would be, use your what's this part? Is that the first knuckle or second? What I mean?
First, second knuckle. Second knuckle.
So this one. That's this one here.
Yeah.
The middle thing. Where you bend
part of the knuckle. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I use. I mean.
On the foot.
At this point, I really don't do I don't do reflexology now, except for here's the interesting thing. The only time I do it is for that when it's not professional.
Okay.
It's a special thing, because, I just like it's feet, and unless I'm clean, and that's the thing. It's like I'll clean. I do it's a personal thing,
right?
I clean her feet and then I do her feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you all know.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, foot massage is very, it's very intimate. It can be very intimate because it's like it's so good. It feels so good. I mean, it really feels good. I don't know if you've had a foot massage, but they're amazing.
No, I just I think the last Thai place I mentioned, they do it a little bit. But
they don't really do it.
It's not reflexology per se. They're just kind of doing it a little bit. And,
it's not like a 20-minute dedicated to your feet, or even 30 minutes or whatever. But so it's going from there. So you got.
Well, I might run out to a mall now and try it. Go to one of those reflexology.
A little different, but do go for it though. Well, it's worth it, but it feels great anyway. But I see it a little bit different, foot massage. But I've never gone to a pro place and had it. But when I was in school, I did, and it was like, it was I worked with the girls, and so it was really, we had a really good bond. You know what I mean?
Do you only work on females or do you work on males too?
Yeah. When I was in a spa, you have no choice. You work on whoever, but.
Okay. And why do you not like work with, aside from the fact that males are kind of hairy and smelly, gross.
Yeah. That can be, there's that end of it too.
I mean, that's true, right? I mean, I don't know if I was a female, which I'm not, but if I were, like I wouldn't want to get with a guy. They're all smelly and gross.
Well, I mean,
right?
so the way I work now, I only see clients. I go to their home or they come here, and if they come here, they've just had a shower. And if I go there, they've just had a shower. There's never.
So they're all clean.
In a spa, sometimes you could get the corporate places that don't have showers call themselves a spa because they.
Someone to be all smelly and they come in and.
Oh, the worst that I ever had was
disgusting.
Really cute girl just came from the office. She was wearing UGG boots all day.
Oh
God,
no!
Dude, smell.
Yeah.
Nasty. So anyway, that'll happen. But I never had gross, smelly guys. To be honest with you, in the spa, the only time I had like loads of gross, smelly women.
Really?
Oh my God. Beastly, like gross, vile. And it's so funny the things that
why is that? Just because what they were wearing?
Unhygienic too.
Unhygienic? Really?
Yeah. Well, we had jokes. Like, we had one of the girls that I worked with in there, we used to say it would be like, you come back into the room and they like the sheet is coming down on them and they decided to take panties off and everything. And you're like, what the fuck? And how do you not smell that?
So they're not supposed to take underwear off on those.
No, they can do whatever they want. But it's like, it's like a vile smell.
Ew.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And it's like, if I can smell it, how do you not smell that? And why are you taking them off? Cover that. Fucking do something. You know?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, I don't think I want to deal with that.
But that's only in that spa environment.
Okay.
So it's amazing because that's the reality in life. It's like men are hairy and gross, but I've experienced more vile women, unhygienic and not showered, greasy hair, and all that than I've had guys who are nasty. Because here's the other thing too. I mean, in the spa world, the guys that I saw, I'd see a lot of athletes. They just come in and they're like, they'll take whoever. I saw a lot of like big muscular dudes, right?
Okay.
And they were like, there was like just afterward,
like bodybuilder types, you mean, or
yeah, no, not that big, but like
athletic types,
huh?
Athletic types,
like muscly, muscular,
Okay.
And they were like jacked up, and so I lay into them, and at the end they're just like, really thankful. And I just target that area, I'd kind of like stay there or, back up to whatever. Sometimes it would be their legs too. But, it was always okay. I had no issue working with men in the sport. It was like, of course I prefer, whatever, but that's just, but also at the same time, when you're in a spot, when you're working in a place like that, it's a shift. You want to be done. I don't care. I'm there for the money and the experience. And you're going to run into it too.
Right.
But then, so when I moved on from that, and I still had a connection with the boutique place that I went, and I worked on call. They call me, and I go see clients, and that was great. That was different. That was like I think I saw one guy when I was there the whole time, and he was kind of uncomfortable, and I had to make him feel comfortable. It's just like we were just talking nonsense. Oh, sorry, I saw two guys. One of the guys came in with his girlfriend, and he looked like, I swear to God, I thought it was this guy a UFC guy. Can't remember his name. It looked like when he was like stocky fella came in with his girlfriend.
It only looked like him. It wasn't him, right?
It wasn't him.
Okay, all right.
And I'm working on him and like getting stuck into him. He was cool. We were having a chat, working on him. He started crying. He cried for the whole like almost hour.
What?
Yeah. What? He was like busted nose, his hands like he was a fighter.
He was a rough guy, and he was crying.
He was a rough guy. He was an absolute sweetheart. But that he trained. He definitely did.
Yeah.
And then the nose,
but it was because of the emotional.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Who knows what it was for? Maybe he just lost someone in his life. I don't know. We never got into it because he was just crying and he apologized. And I said, "Don't worry about it. I mean, think about it."
Jeez.
And when I said, "Don't even worry about it, don't think about it," it's like open floodgates. And he was so happy at the end. Very tired, but really happy. The girlfriend was like, "Oh my God."
I mean, that must be kind of.
They went home, or wherever they went afterwards. They had a wonderful time.
I mean, that must be gratifying
extremely
for someone to, because you are kind of changing someone's life, right? I mean, you're releasing that. You don't want that to build up. Life angst or anger or depression, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so it's very freeing for you too, because we all have these feelings, and sometimes you prejudge people, and or someone comes in and they're kind of like, "Oh, hi," and you're like, "Fuck, I have to deal with this one now for an hour,"
Yeah,
and very quickly you're like, it was all you're just in a bad mood, and within 10-15 minutes I'm delighted and I'm wanting to really help this person,
Yeah. Okay.
no matter what. And so you kind of start to see things about yourself. Well, I started to see things about myself too, So it's all very healing for me as well.
Yeah.
And that's like, I named my own company, The Healing Got Me,
Right.
around that,
We'll make sure at the end that everyone has your website address. Yeah. So they can look you up.
Okay. So anyway, but so what happened with seeing male clients and that when I started to move on and get my own clientele building and doing that and working for third parties that this is pre-app. There wasn't any of the apps that there are now.
Okay.
But there was individuals that catered to high level clienteles and clientele. So I got with them and. And then it seemed all the guys that I was going to see. Mm-hmm. Now I could care less. It's nothing, whatever. But they were all homosexual,
okay.
It would be not like hinting at trying to take me out for dinner and doing all this stuff. Right?
Oh, okay. So you're actually it kind of gets into that sex thing we were talking.
Oh, yeah,
kind of looking for a sexual connection.
Yeah, the outside of a controlled environment like a spa can turn into that.
Okay.
And not to say that in a spa things don't happen too, which I'm sure they do. But in these situations, not that was a big deal. This is in hindsight. I was like, fine, whatever. I'm getting tipped.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But you leave there and you're like, and you start to go when you're building a clientele. You want to go back to see that client,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I never got into it. I was like, I didn't get into this being I don't want to go to work now.
Right.
For this. And then I look at things kind of that way in my life. It's like when you start focusing or you allow these things to be there, they start to accumulate. You get more of the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start going in this direction, you get more of that direction, Right. So I was like, at that point, it was fine. I saw a client like that and I was like, yeah, I won't be going back to that guy,
Right.
But, so, and then, that kind of petered out, I think, there. And then the apps at the same time kind of started blowing up. One in particular was the number one starter. And that was very, I was one of the first ones in. And It was all I just was being sent out to girls. They would call me directly, because I had great reviews. And, for the most part, it's women who get massaged,
Right. Is it? It's mostly women?
Well, it was it is in the spa world. I think on the outside now, it's a lot of guys with these apps because they can get to your door and there's and they just really hiring girls and they're hiring guys too. There is that.
It really seems kind of dangerous.
Well, it's a strange new,
having a stranger in your house that you don't know about or having someone come to a stranger coming to your house.
Yeah.
Where you're going to take your clothes off and,
trust them.
I mean, it just seems kind of dangerous. Like it seems more dangerous for a female masseuse who, because women are, I think, a little bit of size disadvantage in general.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'd agree. I don't know how they think about going into it, but I know just from friends that I have that are girls, they never, other than someone saying something inappropriate or attempting to, hey, would you like to, meet me, whatever, or something, or,
right.
I've never heard of a woman being attacked, for example. Okay. A lot of the times it's in a hotel or at the same time. Where
they go or where attacks happen, you mean?
No. I've never heard of an attack. No, they go to God, because if they go to a hotel, the girl gets attacked, she's working there.
Yeah.
Not only does the company, the third party, have the credit card information, the person's home address, it's also the hotel stuff. And it's proof.
It would be kind of stupid. That'd be the stupidest thing you could do.
It's the same thing with going to someone's house. It'd be really stupid of them to do something because they're there. You know? The only one, and then so that makes it kind of like when you really think of it, all of it, it's very safe, going to someone's place, both for the therapist as well as the other, because
but what about
everyone has information.
You're not in, let's say you're going direct, you're not in an app, there's no scheduling that's publicly.
Now, for me now, it's a little different. It's
right. Because you're going on your own. Nobody knows you're going over to someone's place. So what if they're just going to rob you or something?
Well, that's the deal, and you have to kind of think, but it's interesting is that a lot of clients that I have now, a lot of new clients, because I have clients that I've had for years, for 5 years, I see them fairly regularly. I see them regularly. They're my that's what I nurtured and I built up. And it's great. They're wonderful clients, and they're wealthy. I'll go see couples. I'll see sometimes that have children. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you become almost like an actual psychotherapist.
Right.
Dude, you hear these things, and they're not telling anyone else. Well, maybe they are, but not. There's some people just unload as soon as they're getting touched.
Well, you're in your most vulnerable state, right? You're on a table, you're naked, and someone's touching you. I mean, how much more vulnerable can you get? And then, but you're not accosting them. Obviously, you're providing them a service. So, and then the emotions come out because of the physical thing that you're doing and everything. So I could see where, you're like
you become privy to a part of people's lives, and so there's almost like you become indispensable in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like it just seems to be that way. It's like I hear things that they can share with their friends or family or something. You know what I mean? It's like, because I'm not part of their lives except for a certain moment, they can say something with the full knowledge that's not going anywhere. Yeah. And I have clients that I don't disclose who they are because of who they are. And I'll always keep it that way because it's just, I haven't lost them because of that. So I'm not going to change something that pays my way,
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a trust.
Right.
But okay, so I'll have clients that come see me because it's their first time. They come here; it's my home, and maybe usually or others, it's just more convenient for them to come here. And I think a lot of times because it's girls, they come here of that because there's no in between. There's no company that's saying, we've got your back in case something goes wrong. It's just my website, and Yelp reviews, and it's all legit. My home address is there, my number is there, all of that stuff is there, my license number. But still, it's like you said, there's no net, there's no safety net really in the same way that there is that these companies can provide that I can't assure. So
why would they come to you the first time? What you're saying sounds like that would be more risky for them since there's not a big safety net.
I don't know. So maybe it's. I really don't know what goes on in a female mind.
Well, you've got good company there.
And I like that. You know what I mean? But all I can do is speculate. But some clients, they have dogs or something. I have a client, she comes to see me here because it's better for her to come here than me to go there because the dog would just yap the whole time.
Okay,
so it's it's really annoying, and for both. And then I have another client of mine. She comes sees me every week because she's like, I've known her from a spa that I worked in many years ago.
Okay.
And she comes here because I won't charge her as much, and she pays me very well anyway. But it's just easier for her too because she's always on the go.
Right.
So, and she lives miles away. I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
For whatever. I'm very I have an area. What it's like traffic in this town, so it's got to be cost effective. So So almost in a way, it's easier for me, certainly new clients, to have them come here because I start off at a lower rate and then, as an initial introductory thing and all that.
So I wanted to ask, you've gone a non-corporate, non 9-to-5 route.
Yeah.
And, what would you say? So it seems like you have some passion for what you're doing here. What would you say has helped you become successful in terms of doing your job well and providing value and just executing, getting clients and the like? Have you found any tips for yourself? Not just specifically, but just executing and following your passion, because a lot of people, I think it's 70% of people are in jobs that they hate.
Yeah.
And that's a miserable way to live.
Yeah.
That's part of what we're trying to do in this podcast is kind of give some inspiration for people to try to jump out and, if they are uninspired, and get into something that's more inspiring.
Yeah.
What have you learned?
I think, you can relate it to absolutely anything, what I learned, for sure.
Okay.
You got to do it, that thing. You got to do it every day. You got to do something. Like I made flyers for countless different names of revolving around the same thing. For for chair massage, I've made like 3 or 4 different types of cards. I've gone to every hotel within a 3-mile radius. Yoga, Pilates. That's where I've made my contacts.
You got to go in 100%. You just got to go all in.
You have to do it. I mean, when you're not working, you're working. And you don't. Working isn't just getting paid for it, particularly when you're self-employed. You got to be working all the time.
Okay.
Nice full job.
Yeah.
So it's only no one's going to pay you to sit there and browse the internet when you're meant to be working.
Right.
Getting skirting by or whatever. It's like you really got to do it or don't do it, because if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen.
Right. So do it or don't do it.
That's it. I think that's with everything. I think that goes with absolutely everything. There's nothing stopping you but you. You just have to do it. There's always something you can do that will further you along in that vein, that thing that you're doing.
Okay.
Like it's always that way. Like washing sheets, getting sheets for the table, the massage table.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll wash sheets and I get a client. Things like that happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I go out, I stock up on my headrest covers, or I send emails to a new place that's opened up that's a Pilates thing. I send it to the manager there, or I go into a place, or I go speak to someone. Okay. Or I make an adjustment to a picture on a website or whatever. I just do something that's that way orientated, and something comes from that movement.
Right.
Butterfly effect, right?
Yeah.
So you do something in that vein, and it moves it along. If you just sit still, it's not going anywhere.
Well, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, if you just sit there, things don't come to you in this life.
Yeah. No, you got to go to them. But when you start walking there or start going in that direction, no matter what it is, it does start. You start to see it everywhere.
Back. Yeah,
and you start to see it everywhere. You start to find it everywhere, or you start to find your part of it.
Right.
Okay. What works for you? It's like in everything. I mean, people don't realize so many different ways of life or things to do in life until they do them, and then they see how many people are doing that too.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And connections, and it's all about who you know too, as well. I mean, it's what you can, and that's by doing something, by going out there.
So basically, I mean, who you know, that comes down to networking. Like if you really can't be a hermit, and it makes stuff happen. It's all about meeting people and unless what?
Unless you're in tech.
yeah. Then you can sit in front of your computer
all day.
But yeah, you need to get out and meet people and
you must
network, and that's where opportunities open up.
Yeah, and personal experience with this line of work, very much as a male as well in this world. I'm catering to females as I do and that's, like I said, it's only because I'm not in the spa environment. I haven't come across. I'll get emails from men who tell me that I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm a surfer. I like to get massaged naked. I have a great body, right?
What? Why would somebody say something like that?
That's the initial introductory. It's like, do you not see that I have a license number at the bottom? I don't even respond. It's like, there's a license number at the bottom. If I was going to do that, why would I get a license?
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, I know your angle here, and I'm sure that there's a market for everything, right? But I'm not in that market. So I kept running into this type of scenario going out on my own. So then it becomes, wow, you got to get FaceTime. So you have to go in places, and my best clients are word of mouth. They're not, I mean, that's not to say I've met wonderful clients through ads and all that too.
Yeah.
But my best clients were word of mouth, are word of mouth.
Right. So you got to get out there, do it every day, network. I mean,
and you do what you have to. Like it's something I would go into. I haven't done this in a while, but I'll go, and I'll still do. I'll offer to people who I think who can help me out. Someone who works in a beauty place where there's a lot of clientele that I will offer to work on them. Because it's free advertising for me.
Right.
I'll work on them an hour. It's an hour out of my time. It's cheaper than an ad for a month. that sometimes gets you nothing. Like I've had Yelp things that have done absolutely nothing for me. You know, I get the same amount of clients from Yelp for free as I do for paying for it. Just saying. Right. No offense to anyone in Yelp. You all been really lovely and nice when I talk to you. But, you know, but I've said it to them. I was like, they're cool. Like I've said it to them. I was like, really, when you look at it, and they can see the statistics too. It's like I might have a lot more people looking at it, but I get the same. It balances out. I get the same for free because I'm a male therapist in a world, and industry is dominated by women. It is, and it's no problem if you're a woman and it doesn't matter who you are. You're just getting work, and that's across the board. If you want to work in a spa, you got a job. You want to work third party, you got a job, and you don't have to be as good. Not knocking anyone, just saying, to succeed. I picked, it wasn't really that way when I started. But very quickly, it's changed. Like things have definitely. There's all these third parties that just suck up all the work, and they, it's the price, the money's coming down. There's guys doing it. There's schools that are churning lackluster students out. So it affects everything. When you have a glut. But anyway, like I said, you got to get out there, and I have to really get out. I have to be out there and visible. And I'm with the experience that I've picked up. I'm now on a new venture with massage, which is very exciting and interesting.
What's
and it's really,
You're a new venture?
Yeah, with massage. I'm setting up a company for to work private parties and events, weddings, all that sort of deal.
Okay.
But I'm keeping it small. I'm not. So
you're going to hire people. Okay. So
I'll work at it too occasionally, I'm sure, but I'm going to be hiring people.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah. I wanted to I'm very much like, if I work in a restaurant, I got to start in the kitchen, which I've done. I've done all this stuff. Construction, I started cleaning out building sites when I was 14,
Right.
So
you kind of know, the real ins and outs of the business.
Yeah. How the people are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, I'm not looking at it as a sort of a massive umbrella where it's a numbers game where they hire everyone and they slash the prices and they da-da-da-da. It's not about the experience as much as it is about covering every aspect. I'd rather have high level quality, extremely well paid therapists and very happy therapists working for me. Like it'll be a premium for sure, but I built up my client or my contacts to do that. I mean, you can get a burger at McDonald's, you can go to Morton's, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of always been my philosophy when people talk about, I can do this cheaper. It's like, you can do anything cheaper. It doesn't mean it's better.
Right. Yeah. So if I hear you right, I mean, the concept you're talking about is you're selling, value, not price, basically, when it comes down to, I spent a lot of my years in sales. So that would be, you're selling the value of what, not the price. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, and I believe just personally, there's a market for that. So, because I think
there always is. I mean, some
you're good at sometimes. Yeah,
you're good at it. There are people in this world that always have a ton of money, and you only need to tap into a small number of those people.
That's all
for you to get a piece of that and provide them value. So
yeah, and it's really that's kind of
okay.
You're in sales, you get it.
Yeah. Are there any other projects and kind of coming up here past the hour, but are there any other future projects or things you're looking to get into? Or, obviously you just mentioned
in the massage world.
No, otherwise, just give me an open mic here. So I hear about your plans for your massage stuff. What any other horizons you're looking at or
what else I've done. And I think as well of ways I can combine, and there's a way, it just has not, revealed itself completely, although it's getting there, I can feel it. But so I've put out music on iTunes with a more 80s famous actress that was meant for a TV show, which never materialized, but it's a very good, what would you call, sorry, hang on a second. Hey, dude, let me call you back. All right, bye. So it's very good credential, shall I say. So It's always been something I've been involved with, and I've really stuck in. Got stuck into the production end of it, and there you have it. But it's a passion. I'm not so much, of the,
Cool.
I'm not going to be the next voice.
Well, yeah, I spent a lot of my 20s trying to be a pop star, and I was here in LA, and you got a manager, and I've been down that road. So next time I get into doing music, it's going to be just for the enjoyment,
for the pleasure of it.
The pleasure of it. If something happens, fine, but just do my best work and
totally.
Leave it at that.
I'm a musician, and it's not really for the turnaround as much as the projects and the art, the creativity of it that's involved.
Yeah.
For example, when I'm not working on clients or working in a vein, which I don't, which is great now. I'm kind of fortunate in the sense that I do have more free time to pursue the things that I find nurturing.
Right. Okay.
I'll spend I spend 4 or 5 hours practicing a day.
Wow.
So it's not something that I'm doing to break the charts. It's like, it's a whole language. Music is a language, and some people find they can express themselves better with their voice, others with a pen, others with a paintbrush, me with an instrument, with a guitar in my hands. For sure, I can get things out that, I have no way of really communicating.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So it's something, it's like there's a guy, David Walliman is his name, or Walliman, I think. I'm saying it wrong, all right, but David is for sure. But he puts it very well. We all have a story to tell.
Right.
And, if you can do that, you find your way of doing that, regardless of what it is. It doesn't have to be guitar, piano. It doesn't matter. There's always a way of getting it out. And so that's it. It's like I can change my whole outlook on a day.
Yeah.
Simply. And it's those steps, So
what's interesting is these days with the social media, now we've got the podcast and the like, you can get your story out there a lot easier than in the past.
Sure.
Then again, when you have 10 million people putting their story out, some of them boring, then it gets a little glutted. But that's so be it.
That's just how it is, isn't it?
That's just how it is.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do? It's like, you look around, and that's the thing. It's like, so if we relate it to music, go on YouTube, there's like a gazillion guitar players. Yeah. It's not about that, it can't be about that. If you watch people who are really into it, it's an expression for sure. Yeah. It's some way of doing, it's something of that they're doing for, and then doing it for the benefit of others too. Yeah. But it's not. And now with the way it is, it's like when you're talking your time of doing it, you had to have a manager, you had to have this, you had to have that, because it was studio time. All that. I do everything from home. I've built up my home studio. You know what I mean? I won't get I can mic up my amp, but then I have a car goes past me. You hear the car engine going past or whatever. So you got to do it again. But I can avert that by going directly in. But I don't get that exact same tone. But still, I get a good. It's good quality, And like I said, it's a self-expression. If anything was to come of it, wonderful. But I'm really about the collaborations, and if I can combine the two,
right there you go. Then
you know what I mean?
Get the sweet spot.
Get that sweet spot.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Appreciate you coming on the podcast today. What? Just before we leave, what is your website so people can look up your massage or anything else?
What's your
website?
The website, my massage website is thehealing.me, the healing, HEALING.me.
.me, okay.
Yeah. And you'd find me on Yelp there as well. I think it's just The Healing on Yelp. I can't remember,
Okay.
Find me on Yelp.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have niallcarney.com.
Oh, okay. Niall Carney.
Which is kind of under construction, let's say. But it's
LL, right? NIALLCARNEY.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that you laid it out there, you got to get it out of under construction.
Right. I've been sitting on that one. That's been sitting there for like a year. I got to do something with that. So now I got to do it.
There you go. Cool, man. Well, yeah. Again, appreciate you coming on, and let's stay in touch.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I want to see how your massage business is going and your other endeavors.
Sounds
and
good.
I got to get back to you on these the reflexology thing.
Yeah, we didn't really get to cover these tips and all that, did we? But there's enough to work on there. Anyone who's paying attention, there's a lot to work off of. So.
Yeah, moving blood to the organs. I think we need to learn.
That sounds so clinical, or Talk about this, like increasing the flow.
Increasing the flow of blood to the organs.
Never mind the blood. Increasing the flow of energy.
Energy. Okay.
Yeah.
Increasing the flow of energy to the organs. Okay.
No, don't say organs either, because that also
don't say organs.
Right. Never say organs when you're trying. Don't say, "Hey, I want to warm up your organs."
yeah. I don't think that would go over very well.
That's just not going to work. So you just say, you're increasing the energy flow.
Increasing the energy flow.
Right.
Okay.
I think that sounds.
Yeah, but it helped. I think our listeners would be interested.
Oh yeah. You need to know the clinical to not use the clinical, I guess.
Got it. Okay.
Right. But so in that sense, then, you're increasing, the blood flow, the circulation to organs and muscles, throughout the body. And it'll work, from the head down to the waist. It goes that direction. It goes head down. From the legs up to the waist, it goes legs up. And they kind of, there's some that'll interconnect, but for the most part, that's where that is going, particularly when you're talking about the lymphatic system. That's how that works,
Okay. So does that mean you got to run? You got to do the feet and then go up the legs, and then you got to run around and run around and start from the shoulders and go down, or is
no? I'm just saying the direction. That's the way you want to be pushing.
Okay.
If you're pushing at all, I don't mean pushing, but like this is how the flow would be going. So you're heading towards the
energy.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, just like the lymphatic system is moving that way.
That's physical. You're actually physically.
Yeah, it's underneath the skin.
Yeah.
So it's the lymphatic system. If you're pushing it in the direction of its flow. You're not going to go opposite. It doesn't. Right. There's a subtle discomfort.
Okay.
There, so you want to be flowing up for sure. Flowing up.
We might need to do a special vignette on this specifically because I'm hearing you, but I don't have enough. I wouldn't know what to actually. Specifically do from a professional.
Hours talking about this stuff
from a professional standpoint, of course. Yeah. Maybe we'll do one that's just on this. Like I love hearing the whole journey and everything like that. But because we also talk about man skills. Yeah, and this is something that
This is something I would certainly recommend. This is a thing that your partner will love you to learn this, or if you're just not even with. What a skill to have to pop out with.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got to do this again, and we'll do it, but we'll do it just on that man skill. Like I'll put it under the man skills, topic.
Yeah. This is a talent for sure that anyone can. It's you don't have to. It's like anything. You can keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Really that I meant that in that acronym, the KISS.
Sure.
But I'm not calling you stupid.
Oh no. I would never assume anyone's calling me stupid.
Nice.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to come back to you on that. It's definitely going to be a topic of interest.
All right.
But awesome. Thanks for sharing today. Really appreciate it. And I think great insight for everybody.
Cool.
Okay. Now take care, man.
All right, man. Take care. All right.